all right?
Cory Booker is another one you express anger at over this Senate presidency.
I don't know if the word anger...
Disappointment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he abandoned you for Sweeney, even though he didn't have a vote in this, but his support counts for something.
But what it was, at one point, I had asked all the mayors to endorse me in Essex County. They all did, including him. So we put out a press release. It's rather innocuous. He's not quoted. Sweeney's not criticized. Norcross, nobody is. Just supporting Codey. So I get a call that he then puts out something disavowing his endorsement. So I get him on the phone. He happens to be in Newark. And I said, Mayor, what's going on? Well, I didn't see the press release. I said, Mayor, we sent it down to you. Your people went over. There was nothing in there that you would object to. You said you were for me. Well, you know, people say you're not going to win. I said, well, you know what, Mayor? Okay, but I'll tell you this. If I'm in a foxhole and I turn and I see you in the same foxhole, I'm getting out. So, I mean, yeah, I was disappointed in him.
Did
very
Barbara
much.
Buono betray you or disappoint you?
You know, Barbara, you know, she formed an alliance with Mr. Norcross and others a couple of years before that, so I didn't think she betrayed me or disappointed me. It is what it is, you know.
You're right that the legislature is a much better place today than it was when you first started. I thought this was interesting, and that maybe our audience would find it interesting. Back then, we seldom saw bills before voting on them, and we had very little understanding of what we were voting for. People from the governor's office ran the caucus and pretty much dictated the agenda. Committee meetings, if the committee met at all, were usually held in secret. Now everything is open, and professional staffs in both houses make sure everyone sees and understands proposed legislation well in advance of any vote. That sounds like good progress.
Well, Mike, in the old days, you'd be there at 4 in the morning, and they would use a Xerox machine, and they run off a copy of a bill and introduce it, and within an hour, have it passed by 2 houses and signed into law by the governor. No committee meetings, no public hearings. I mean,
the women's health bill went almost that fast this week.
Yeah, well, I'm not the president of the Senate, but I would have done the same thing that Steve did. But that's the way it was. And there was no staff to help you analyze bills.
You say at one point toward the end of the book that you, oh, and by the way, thank you for the one mention I got in your book where you say you were pissed off at me.
Yes, I was.
Quote unquote, over something I said to you on your first day as governor, but we won't get into that right now. We'll do that after the show. You say that you kind of resent the power that the press has, and that interested me.
I didn't say I resented it. What I said was that the press, when you get up in the room and you read the paper, Mike, whatever's on the front page above the fold, they have to determine that's the most important story for you and all the readers. So what I was saying was that they have that kind of power, which is sometimes more powerful than individual legislators. Okay, they say this is important, and once they're on a story, they can keep that story alive with some little snippet to give it legs, as we say. Listen.
So Charlie's style is more powerful than an assembly person from Bergen County.
No, but I'm saying he has some power, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, he's got his opinions. He slants them. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I also say that within the body of talking about the media, that I found out that overwhelmingly reporters are really decent and honorable people, and I really ran into some very decent and honorable editors as well. For the most part, overwhelmingly, my relationship with the press was excellent, and I respected them, and they respected me. But having said that, they have a lot of power, and that's what it is. And I tell you, I'd say to the audience, don't stop reading newspapers. The worst thing you do. We need them.
Or watching television.
No. Watch television and read newspapers. You know, don't do this online stuff. We need newspapers and people like you. Even sometimes you piss me off.
How's Chris Christie doing as governor? You have an interesting vantage point from which to judge. Yeah,
I mean, listen, as a governor, I say publicly, do I agree with his style? Absolutely, positively not. Do I agree with a lot of his policies? Absolutely. You know, I said before, just before
the critique then is more about style than about policy.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, but you know, there's no reason to keep this demonizing teacher thing going. And you know, I guess for him, it's sincere, but it's also politics, and that's wrong. That's very wrong. Listen, I said before I left as governor, we got to do something in the future about pensions and benefits. We did a lot of good things under Corzine. We did the cap, which brought property taxes down to 3.7%, property tax increases. And he's continuing to do those things that, for the most part, are right. But you know, he goes overboard with the demonizing people, the constantly, I'm in your face, you know. I think a governor should lead by example and try at all times to be a gentleman, except there's times when somebody's out of line and you got to fight back.
15 seconds. Are you going to run for higher office again? Is it possible?
It's possible, or anything else is possible in life. You know, in politics, don't plan too far ahead because, like me, you never know what's going to happen.
That's a good note to end on. Dick Codey, thanks very much.
Thank you.
This is the book, Me, Governor, and we'll be back with another edition of On the Record next Sunday morning at 9 and 11 and Monday morning at 6:30. For more on New Jersey politics and government, you can catch Reporters Roundtable Sunday mornings at 10 and Friday nights at 7.